everyone, Stephanie here, coffee drinker, book lover, and reviewer of many things, and today I have a book review for you. I finished the first book in the Polly and Buster series. It's The Wayward Witch and the Fillings Monster. It is on my 2025 Paper Pie Reading Challenge. It's right here. I haven't highlighted it because I packed the highlighter and so here I am, highlighterless. So this book is by Sally Rippin. I pretty much like everything from Sally Rippin. She's one of my favorite children's authors. It says, in a world, the back of the book says, in a world where witches can never be friends with monsters, Polly and Buster have managed to keep their friendship a secret until one day everything changes. Um, I I loved this book. I did not like the end. I will tell you why in a minute. Um, this book is fun to read. There's stars, and I like how it's spaced out. There are some really great pictures, and I like how the font changes or gets bold or italicized. This is just great. And then there are some pictures. That's Buster. Uh, this one is my favorite. I love this. I okay. So I have heard that some people don't like whenever you're reading in with a white background and then all of a sudden it's black background. I actually prefer reading on the dark pages, but I know that's a lot more ink to use. But I thought this book was exciting and fun, and I'm gonna read my review in the. I wrote it down. I like this. Okay, I give you all my information, and then I'm gonna give spoilers for the book. Okay, so Wayward Witch and the Filling Monster. The author is Sally Rippin. It is considered a junior fiction fantasy. It's a good middle grade, late elementary school book. I think its publisher is Kane Miller. Hence, you can get. Okay, so this is one of the only books off of the Paper Pie Challenge that you can get elsewhere. Um, Otherwise, you have to order it through my Paper Pie website. I I put I started. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me finish giving you the details. It is 280 pages, and if you find it on Audible, it is 3 hours and 16 minutes. I did say that I started this on January 1st, but I think it was actually later than that. Um, why did I choose this book? Because it's on my challenge, and it sounded cute, witchy, and mysterious. I gave it 4 books. Um, it would have been 4.5. Okay, for thinking of it as a children's book, it would have been a 4.5 if it wasn't for that darn ending. Okay. Would I recommend this? Absolutely. I think everyone should read this book. Um, More on that. Other series that Sally Rippin has written, the Billy B. Brown series, love that one. School of Monsters series, we love that one. Hey Jack series, I haven't read that one, but it's connected to the Billy B. Brown, like they're best friends, so she's also in his books, so I'm sure I'd love that too. She did write an adult book called Wild Things, and I think it's how to help manage kids that have like dyslexia and other reading issues. I'm not positive though because I didn't fully look into that. There is a book called Come Over to My House. Big Dog, Little Dog, and Big Dog is a Big Help. Those are little cute picture books for kids. And then the Polly and Buster series. Now, my review. I need the next book. Like, literally, I put, I need the next book. This book was so good. Polly and Buster are secret friends until Buster calls out to Polly when both of their schools end up at the same museum. Polly has always been bad at following written directions for spells and potions, which makes it hard for her to make friends with the witches her age. This book has the after effects of a parent's death, bullying, peer pressure, and learning how to deal with your emotions. Mallory and her mom are terrible bullies. So I'm so glad that Polly's sister, who was a bully, like not like bully, but like picking on like a big sister picks on a little sister, and vice versa. Um, Polly's sister, Winifred, ends up taking Buster's side and helping or telling Polly to go to him. And I love that Polly's teacher, I don't remember her name, I think it's Miss Maker. Oh, I'm gonna have to look it up later. Um, does everything she can for Polly at school. She tells Polly, well, sometimes reading instructions can be hard. Sometimes understanding, how to do the steps after reading everything is hard, and that's okay. You just have to learn how to work with it. Like she's very understanding of Polly. She does tell her, but you need to get your anger issues under control. Okay. and in a sweet, like, I see you kind of way. Um, so I love that Polly's teacher stands up for her and does everything she can to help Polly. But that ending, why? Why? so, and it's just funny. Okay, so Polly starts off in this book where her sister's just being mean to her, like, oh, you're such a baby, like, meh. And then she goes to school and she has a terrible day. She's supposed to be making a wart potion, or a wart removal potion. And she's trying to she's trying to focus so hard, but she keeps, like, wondering around, like, oh my gosh, like, they're already done, and oh my gosh, look how far they are, and she's like, oh, how many drops of this did I put in? Did I already put 3 in? And, like, she's, like, discombobulated, and then the frogs or the toads are passed out that have warts, and you're supposed to use the drops on it. And, well, hers explodes. Her frog explodes, and Mallory starts picking on her, and she's holding the drop, like, she just put the drop on her frog, like, she still has the drop, the eyedropper, the syringe, I don't know, the little thingy, I can't remember the name of it, in her hand, and it still has potion in it, and Mallory just keeps on, and Polly just, like, squirts it at her. And gives Mallory warts. And when she did that, it also landed on 2 boys on their legs, and so they all had to go to the nurse. And Polly had to clean up everything, because, ew. And when she gets home, she's just like, ugh, and, like, throws her bag down and runs outside She climbs up into a tree and she calls out for her best friend, and he comes. And when he feels emotion, he changes color and size. So when he's feeling sad and lonely, he gets tiny and loses his color, and he's just like, you're like, oh, poor guy. But when he is happy, he starts to expand and get bigger and gets lighter, and he like can float away, which comes in handy later. And Polly tells all of her, everything that happened, and Buster is like, listens, he's understanding, he gives her cake that's in his pocket, but you know what, they're like 10, 11 maybe? I don't know how old they are. I wonder how old they are. I don't think it says. Okay. Oh, so it says, I found the section I was talking about how she has trouble with instructions and maybe is dyslexic. Sometimes when Polly looks at the yellow pages of her leather-bound spellbook, the letters seem to dance across the page. A letter B might suddenly look like a letter P. A W might transform into an M. Um, Polly decides to be extra careful today. So yeah. Um, Man, I know the feeling. Um, anyway, so when she goes back to her house, her mom is very like health oriented, and they eat mealworms. I mean, and other witchy healthy food. And so she's like, And the next day she goes to the museum, and Buster's school is doing like has the bottom floor of the museum, and Polly's school is on the top floor. And she becomes kind of friendly with Mallory, and because they were placed together on purpose, and so they start talking about how, oh, you're so good at this and you're so good at that, and so they've made a plan to teach each other what they know. And then it's break time, and the bathroom line is super long, so they're gonna run down and use the bathroom downstairs. And as they go down, Buster sees Polly and is like, "Oh, Polly!" and is really excited before he realizes, "Oops, I'm not supposed to do that." And um, Polly's like, and he overhears her saying, "Oh yeah, I know. He knew my name because we're neighbors. He must have heard my mom say my name." And so that makes Buster feel really bad. And she's like, she's upset because he let on that they're friends, and so he's like, she's like trying to calm down, like, you know. And when they go back out, Buster has changed sizes, and none of the other monsters really knew that he could change. So they're making fun of him, and she gets mad at all the other monsters for making fun of him and explodes um, magically. Well, she doesn't mean to. She tries to stop it. And that's when everything kind of goes downhill. Um, the book was good. I mean, like for them, everything goes downhill, and she she passes out because it's too much magic for her to be conjuring. And when she comes to, her teacher is like, she's in the like the nurse's office. That's not what they call it, but she's in a nurse's office, and her teacher is like, "So Mallory told us everything that happened, and how you protected her from those monsters who were going to do y'all harm." And Polly is just like, "Oh, Yeah? And she's like, to our surprise, you're her hero now. And Polly's like, oh, imagine that. And Miss Spelunker, like I said, I think that's her name, leans down and she's like, but I called my friend at the monster school. And I got their story of what happened. And you did a good thing protecting a friend. And she's like, I'm not friends with a monster. And she's like, it's okay, I have friends. I'm friends with monsters. Like, let's go. And so, but the newspaper has picked up that the monsters were doing harm, and there needs to be more stricter things towards monsters, and a whole bunch of stuff happens, and there is a witch hunt. I say it that way because the witches are hunting the monster, and Valerie's mom, I can't remember, Holloway, I think is their last name, threatens Polly, pulls out her wand, and is gonna do actual magic on her, not just the normal, like, be quiet, let me talk magic that the teacher does occasionally. And um, Polly does another big spell without trying to. She did try to pull it back, but she was so scared that this adult was going to hurt her and her friend that she just like threw all of the witches that were down there onto the ground. And she starts passing out, and she falls out the window. Well, I think she's already outside the window, and Buster jumps out after her and then thinks happy thoughts, and they float away. They float away, and they end up on top of a building because Buster is like just thinking happy thoughts and singing a little song, and Polly's like, "Oh, this is high," and she's like, Buster, you may want to start thinking less happy thoughts." And he opens his eyes and he goes, "Oh, oh." And she's like, "No, no, you think happy about, close your eyes. Look, you love birds, and you love the bluebirds, and you love the yellow birds. They sing to you in the morning at your windowsill," and like they start floating up again. Because they start going down like drastically. And she's like, "No, no, 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 no. Don't." And they end up on top of a clock tower that's like super high up, and she's been bitten by a different monster because the monster got scared. Like, it wasn't malicious. It just wanted to go and hide, and Polly was holding on to it. And then she was, dizzy. Like her head feels fuzzy after she does the big spells. Even when she comes to, it like hurts. And so they land, and she's like, "I can't do anything in this situation." And he's like, "It's okay." And then it starts to rain, and it's like, "Oh, it's still okay. I like the rain." And so he puts his arms around her, and all of a sudden, like, she's closed her eyes, and she's just trying to like come back to life. And he goes, "There's someone coming," and she's like, "What?" And he goes, "On a broom." She's like, it's her teacher. And this book just ends. The teacher, the teacher takes her back to her house and is like, "Oh, hey, I think that you're a silver witch, and you only get one of these every so often when something big is about to happen." And she's like fixing up her hand and feeding Buster because Buster sees fruit on the table and is like, she's like, "Help yourself." And so he takes 3, and Polly goes, "Buster," and he goes, "Right," and puts one back, and he's eating. And then later, so Miss Spelunker is like, when your father passed, did he leave you anything that was specifically for you?" Because she knows that there was a black witch in the family before Polly was even thought of. And she's like, "I need, if you're the Silver Witch, something was left for you, and they didn't realize that it was specifically for you, but they said it was specifically for you. And she pulled out a bag of like rocks, and Buster's like, "Oh, I have some rocks too," and he like pulls because he collects rocks, and this one was like, "Yes, Buster, those are very lovely rocks, but I think Polly's are very special." And she like passes her hand over them, and they glow, and she's like, "Okay, I can't touch them because they're for you, but you need to use them." And she explains that this is going to be trippy, kind of painful. You might throw up. You're going to hold the rocks. They're going to get hot. And you're going to see visions. And pretty much the visions tell her that she has to fix the problem that was created around her. So, like, because of what happened about the monster situation in her, she has to fix it. And so she's like, but I'm a kid. And Miss Flanker's like, yes, you are a lot younger than the normal Silver Witch would be. But, you're supposed to have, a person that's very special that will help get you through it all. Usually in the visions, they're like surrounded by white light. Did you see any of that? And she was like, um, hold on. I'm gonna read it to you because I was like, it's hilarious. Yes, there was a white light, she says, remembering, and there was someone in it. Holly pauses, closing her eyes for a moment. I don't think it was a witch. Actually, I think it might have been a monster. Oh, yes, I remember now. It was a monster. A big, hairy monster. Miss Sloanaker and Polly turn and look at Buster. He has snuck another fruit out of the bowl, and he jammed the whole thing in his mouth. Juice ripples down his furry chin. When he feels both witches' eyes on him, he slowly stops chewing, wipes his chin on the back of his paw. What? He says, blushing. Miss Sloanaker said I could help myself. Oh, he says, finally realizing why they're staring at him. I'm a big hairy monster. Um, anyway, pretty much Miss Winaker's like, I will teach you what needs to be taught. I will help you as much as I can to get through all of this. But just knowing that Buster is by her side, she's gonna be okay. That's how it ended. I'm gonna need the second book. Gonna need the second book. It's okay. I loved this book. I thought this book was great. When Mallory first starts to try to be her friend after the big incident, um, Polly is like, oh, I'm gonna have a friend that's a witch. I'm so excited. And so she tries to go along with what Mallory is saying. And every time she's like, oh yeah, those monsters, they're terrible, she feels this like, ugh, feeling. And it's described so well. And so I'm like, this book is great for that. Okay, so this is Polly and Buster and the Wayward Witch by Sally Rippin. I will leave, it's the book one. I will leave the link for this book in the description so that you can get it and read it too, or read it to your kid. I read this to my kid. She loved it too. Like, we went chapter, sometimes we read more than one chapter for our schoolwork. Um, she's still a little young for school, but we do school. We're learning to write now. She can read, so I might as well have her write. I am reading Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. I don't know how long it's going to take me because we're in the process of moving into a new place. So this is going to be my last video at this place. So we're not going to have any furniture, but I'm going to be in a new location next time. I am reading Honest June off of. Get up. I'm reading Honest June off of the Preteen Teen Reading Challenge, and my next book off of the Paper Pie Challenge is going to be Lightning Girl by Alicia Dixon. Um, I will leave the link for these papers in the description so that if you want to do one of these challenges or all three of the challenges or two of the challenges with me, you can print these out. I will leave a link for places that you can get said books because I know I will see people talking about the book and then I don't want to go and do the search. I would prefer just to click a link and go. I will get a few pennies from the sales price, but I appreciate it. It doesn't do much. I've had my Amazon consultants thing for over a year, and I think I've made $5, and I can't even get it because you have to get at least $10 to get it transferred into your account. So I just have $5 that I can't get. And don't know what else to talk about. There are a few books that I'm waiting to listen to through the library. I have, what was it? I have Big Magic. I'm on the wait list for Big Magic. One True Loves and Kiss Quotient. Because you can only do three holds at a time. And I'm working on getting some of these other books. So, yeah. So, like this video, give me a thumbs up if you like this video. Comment below, have you read this book? Are you going to read this book? Do you want to do my reading challenges with me? Is anyone else obsessed with reading challenges? I just love them. It makes me want to actually read, I think, more than I normally would. And subscribe if you want to. If you're not sure if you want to subscribe, you can click my space circle. It will be down here somewhere. I will take you to my channel, and you can go through and check out my playlist. I do a lot of book videos because I got tired of seeing 5 stars, and then I was like, nah, I didn't like that book. And share this video because sharing is caring, and someone else might want to know about Polly and Buster series. I will let you know if I get the second book, and I'll probably do a video on that too. Or maybe I'll get the whole series and then just do a series video. Oh, that might be a future video. Okay, that is all I have to talk about. I will see you on my next video. Bye!